meeting to order. Salute to the flag. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of members, please.
Trustee Trombley.
Here.
Trustee Malinsky.
Here.
Trustee Connor.
Here.
Trustee Herzog.
Here.
Mayor McFetrich.
Here. We have a motion to approve the minutes of the May 13th meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion, corrections? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, that motion carries. And may I have a motion to approve the minutes of the May 23rd meeting? So moved. In a second.
Second.
Any corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
And one abstention. All right. Presentation of petitions, communications, and general question period for members of the community. We have a couple members of the community. Thank you for coming. So this is the time, if you want to address the board, you can. It's not really, okay, it's not a give and take, but we're very happy you're here.
Okay. Alright. I just want to say thank you so very much from the Clinton County Dog Tether Law Campaign. Thank you for drafting a village tether law. This means everything to us and the dogs that live in this village, not to mention the village residents who value their safety. Janet, thank you for taking the initiative to draft the law, and thank you to all of those who voted to put the law in place. I hope this creates a ripple effect and more towns and villages will follow suit. No animal deserves to spend its life on a chain or to suffer the neglect that comes with it. Just up the road right now, dogs are tied up on a short chain without shade and water, suffering at the hands of abusive owners who allow their dogs to die, and they just go out and get another one, and the cycle continues. You know it, I know it, 90% of people consider their pet a family member, and only 2 to 3% of dog owners would ever think to chain their dogs outside 24/7. It's that small margin of dog owners who abuse their dogs that have created the need for this law. We are still working at the county level and fighting resistance from 3 specific legislators who will stop at nothing to make sure this law does not pass. I'll say it, Calvin Castine is a ringleader, making sure the tether law does not pass at the Public Safety Committee level. Actually preventing me and my law supporters from attending a public meeting just last week, polling the towns only to hide their feedback, deleting a recorded legislature meeting to ensure people don't see how he voted and how he feels about the law. We cannot make this stuff up. Evil truly exists in the world. The tether law drafts will be going to the legislature floor for a majority vote in July. It's not over. A much higher power than Calvin Castine wants this law in place, and we will not back down. You simply don't mess with the animals. It's only a matter of time until we have a countywide law in place and we stop the abuse and the animal cruelty currently happening all across Clinton County. If I sound abrasive in any way, it's because we recently learned of a dog that died chained up outside on a short chain with no shade and no water on one of the hottest days of the summer so far. It spent its whole life on a chain. Worst of all, animal control failed to do a wellness check when asked to, and the dog's death could have been prevented. There is a need for this law, period. Thank you again for taking this step. Thank you for showing us you are forward thinkers. And thank you most of all for helping the animals.
No, she said it all.
I do want to, I wouldn't normally respond, but I do want to say that at this point, our tether law is a draft. So we're discussing it tonight and we'll see how we proceed from there.
And we appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other comments?
You just want to watch if it's okay?
It's absolutely, this is a public meeting, we're happy to have you here. All right, report from the code enforcement officer. I printed out the 2 sets that our code enforcement officer gave us. One's cases report and one is the report. The town and the village cases are mixed together, but I think you can tell which are which. Most of the ones in the village are grass in excess of 6 inches. And I have noticed quite a few lawns have been mowed in the past week or so. Do you have anything that you want me to share with Chris?
Just so like we discussed, maybe try and separate them by town and village.
Yeah, let's see if that can be done on that program that he's got. Okay. Next, we have my report. Good evening and welcome to the Village of Champlain Board Meeting. I would like to give you a couple of updates regarding ongoing projects. The water line replacement project is progressing well. Mike, you can correct me if I'm wrong in some of this. The Elm Street section is complete except for some restoration.
Asphalt and a couple spotty topsoil spots, they got the topsoil and seed, but
Okay.
yes, everybody's hooked up already.
The South Street section has almost all the pipe in the ground.
Yeah,
And the work there will continue for another couple of weeks.
yeah, we started hooking services today and we're on the far end and we're started on pressure testing on this end.
Okay, perfect. The challenging part will be on Main Street, Route 9, as the contractors navigate around existing infrastructure and traffic. Please drive slowly and obey the flagger's instructions. We thank you for your patience and cooperation during all this construction. On Saturday, June 15th, this coming Saturday, the downtown businesses and the History Center will be open with many offering special deals. This is also the museum weekend in Clinton County, and I encourage you to visit the many fascinating museums that we have all around us. There are also two events coming up soon at the Champlain Meeting House. This Wednesday, we will have another session of Village Listens to Vinyl at 6 p.m. and on Thursday, June 20th, there will be a presentation on insects. Both events are free and open to the public. The DPW crew has spent some long, hot hours improving the playground with added wood chips under the equipment. We will also be repaving the basketball court to remove the low spot in the middle where water collects after every rainstorm. As I mentioned last month, the farmers market will begin in mid-July. We are always looking for new vendors. Stop by the village office for an application of the rules. Our first concert will be the Straw Hatters on July 10th at 6 p.m., followed by Taylor LaValle on July 21st, both at Bill Earl Park. There are two additional concerts scheduled for August. There's one more that we just got. I wish you all a beautiful start to the summer, and I hope to see you at the many events that we have scheduled this season. Thank you. Reports from the trustees. Kim?
Okay, so, Janet, Mike and I met with John Trombley from Modern Mechanical. John is very graciously going to do some more work for us for the kayak launch. And, I don't know, Mike, if the guys were able to get it pulled out yet.
I took it out, I sent him a text, I had it out last week.
Awesome, thank you. So he's gonna look at it to see what kind of repairs it needs. He's also trying to do everything in his power to do something that does not require the guys having to take it out for the winter. So putting it on similar to like pistons so that it can be raised up and held up, locked into place. We would need to provide a gate at the end of it to keep kids off from it. But, you know, there's signs down there that say we had an AARP challenge, we got a grant, and we have a sign that says the gangplank was donated by Modern Mechanical, and there's nothing sitting there. So it's kind of disheartening for businesses that donate a lot of their time and talents and money to projects and it's not being used. So John is working on it. So we'll see what he comes back with. He gave us some drawings, and hopefully we can get that going soon. The other thing, with getting the basketball court completely repaved, I'm gonna do research for a portable basketball net that can be removed at the end of the season for the opposite end of the permanent one. we don't wanna spend that kind of money to put another permanent one in. It would, once we get it paved and have to dig into the pavement, doesn't make sense, so do something that's, temporary that can be pulled out. So, as soon as I get some quotes on that, I'll send them to Mary and Juanita.
Sounds good. Thanks, sounds good.
Thank you to Mary and Juanita for the year-end reports. It's crunch time for the water board. So, we'll see what happens.
Thanks for doing that work too.
No problem.
Nikki?
Just to touch up on the concerts in the park, I do have food trucks set up for 3 before events so far.
She just found out about it before. I just found out last night.
So come out for music and to support our local food vendors. I do not have anything scheduled currently for kids' activities, but I do have some ideas that I would like to put on the calendar. So in the next couple weeks, I'll have something to share. And I am meeting with the library board next week to create a summer reading program at the library.
Cool.
So hopefully we'll get a few more families to come out for that. School's almost done. Yeah, so I think we need some time off.
Yeah.
But it's been a busy few months here, so I really haven't focused a lot on programs, but I will. I'll be doing that soon.
You've been busy. Chuck?
There were 6 raised beds in the community garden. 5 of the 6 are
6 of the
utilized.
6.
Well, 6 is used now, okay.
Oh, yay.
So it's working out pretty well, and you know, next year's another year. If we see the need, maybe we can get a few more. If there's interest. It's kind of nice not to have things in the ground and a mess, because it really wasn't maintained by the people that had gardens. So this will make it more maintainable, and it's should work out pretty well. The water's there, thank you, Mike, and the guys. So that seems to be working out pretty well. Yeah, thanks Juanita and Mary for all their work they've done for the fiscal year end. I think we ended up at a better than what we thought, which is good. So that's it.
Thank you. Joel?
I have nothing to report.
Okay. Report from the court treasurer?
Of course, everyone has their May expense and revenues, and that Chuck said, we did make out better than what could have been worse, but we did pretty well. Stayed pretty even though,
Yeah,
except sewer, in which we knew that we had spent more money.
yeah,
on,
we knew that
but
was
we
gonna
had
happen.
upgrades to do.
Yeah. Okay, so we have some additional invoices
We
here
have,
to honor.
we have additional invoices to the warrant of $8,864.47 for a total warrant of $13,061.
21,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, I read the line. $21,925.47.
Right. I have a motion to approve the warrant with the additional invoices.
So
We have a second. Discussion? Any questions? Any questions? All right, roll call.
Trustee Trombley.
Aye.
Trustee Malinsky.
Aye.
Trustee Connor.
aye.
Trustee Herzog.
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye.
We also have 2 invoices to be paid for the water main, replacement project. One is to Barton Lynn LaJudas for $17,414.63, and the other one is to TJ Fiacco for $256,642.50, for a total of $274,057.13.
What was that total again?
274,
Yep.
057, 13.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion to pay that water main replacement project amount.
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion or questions? All right, roll call.
Trustee Trombley.
Aye.
Trustee Malinsky.
Aye.
Trustee Connor.
Aye.
Trustee Herzog.
Aye.
Mayor McFetrich.
Correspondence? Whoops, sorry, skipped you, Mike.
It's all right, you can,
Report from the superintendent.
you read mine if you want.
It was
I couldn't-
kinda squished
I
together.
couldn't, I couldn't print it, so I had to hurry up and make notes. So the water line replacement you talked about, Elm Street, South Street, we're hoping in 2 weeks, within the next couple weeks, we gotta get, the upper end pressure tested chlorinated, super chlorinated, to get the samples to pass, then we can start tying on services. From there, we've gotta tie in, plaza, senior housing, and then we gotta jump down below, we gotta tie in Price Chopper. We're just trying to, make it where there's at least amount of time for boil water for Price Chopper, and then, once that's completed, as they get these services done, they're going through to topsoil, seed, mailbox, we're gonna put the mailboxes back, and they're gonna do the asphalt on the edge of the roadway, so they wanna be the next, I'd say, probably closer to 3 weeks, because it's pretty sticky right now in the rain. They wanna be done, that street, so by then, we hopefully will have our permits signed off for DOT, so we can start heading this way.
Yeah,
So that's where we are with that. I had a few issues, water plant, we had some water plant issues, we had a power supply failure for our main plant. I was able to get, more power supply, another power supply here, so that's back up and running. The cooling monitor, that went, I've got a part ordered, should be here any day for that. I had one request on Church Street, we pulled a meter and radio, there's gonna be a, trailer being taken out. There's nobody in it at this time, and they're removing it, so.
yep,
On the sewer side, we got word today, Kester came, the grit pump that had got ruined, they're gonna replace it. So,
at their expense,
they're gonna pay for it.
yeah.
It's gonna cost us a little bit because we're moving it from where it is to inside the building, where it should have been years ago, the first time. So, take care of the issue of having it get ruined, at least it'll be inside the building. Contractor's still got a bunch of work to do there, oddball stuff, an injection line, they still got cleanup to do. I think they gotta do some of the heat trays, then they gotta trim everything up, do our asphalt, topsoil, to get that finished up. I just finally got word this last Friday, 4:30 Friday afternoon, did 6 tanks at sewer plant, 4 aeration and 2 digesters. That's the one, the piping is bad, and I've been, since December 5th of last year, I ordered parts. Just got word they're supposed to start shipping on August 26th.
Oh my
And that's
gosh.
meant, so once they get here, all the stuff gets here, we gotta get a vac truck, we gotta empty every one of them tanks and change all that piping, that's gonna be a long process. So that's probably we're probably gonna be doing that into winter.
Yeah,
It is what it is, I can't change it, so.
wow.
And the other thing, I was supposed to have quotes for you for tonight, and I'm still waiting, but, that triplex lift station on Main Street, we gotta redo the piping and the panel on that. I've got it, fandangled wired with floats so it runs, but that has to be replaced, it's not gonna be a cheap thing, but we don't really have a choice, we have to, all the sewer, everything on that side of the river goes across there, so we don't really have too much of a choice. Once I have the pricing, I'll get that to you, because it's been a little bit longer, they have to recheck and make sure everything stays the same. There's a lot entailing that, and bypass piping, you gotta pump all the sewer around the manholes, and there's a bunch of stuff to go with that. As far as on the streets, we've been trying to keep up, brush pickup's done, banners and flags were hung, we did replace, I finally got the mirror in, I was able to replace the mirror on the corner of Maple Street. On the bike path, we got the 40 solar lights on the Elm Street end of the bike path up to the end. We still have a couple trailhead big lights to put in there. We've got some forms made, we gotta pour concrete for those, and I've got a bike repair station to put in on this end. Still got a few things to do there. Playground equipment, we've got one piece planked, the dome, sand, fabric, chips that we had left are in. I got another tractor trailer load of chips coming. Might be here by the end of the week. We're starting on the next piece to get that ready. There's still, we still got quite a bit to do. The summer's flying here. Besides the bike path stuff, we got sidewalk replacement, Main Street from Church Street to Cedar Street. All those crosswalk plates, all the crosswalks gotta be painted in. Crosswalks gotta be painted from after we install one, from the top of Church all the way to Dollar General. In the driving lanes of the roads, we gotta put the sharrows for the shared, for bikes, that's all gonna be painted yet. We still have 2 brand new pieces of playground equipment that's gotta be installed as well. We got some culvert installed, we'll still have a full plate for this year, next year.
Yeah.
I don't think there's no way, I don't think we're gonna be able to have anything ready for asphalt. The only thing I may do a short piece on Elm Street, cause we have an issue with the truck grooves in a roadway, the water comes down on Prospect, and it seems to follow down Elm, and it turns right where the 2 houses are, and it's flooding them out, so I'm gonna see if we can grind a rebate on both sides, and even if we can shim that centerpiece to shed it where it should be to try to prevent any damage. That's might be the only asphalting we do, for this year. It's just, we've got drainage and stuff to do on Elm Street. I wanna do Elm Street this year, and it's not gonna be possible.
You've got
So,
too much, there's too much to do.
and that's about all I have for, that I can think of, because I was eating supper. My computer, I couldn't print my, I'm trouble with my computer. The compatibility one, I couldn't print my report, so.
What are you thinking about a time schedule for the beginning of the sidewalks?
It just won't be until these guys get South Street done.
Okay,
We'll see what happens on Route 9. I mean, it's gonna be at least another couple weeks probably. We've got plenty to do even with that
oh, I know
playground
that,
stuff to get.
I know, I'm just wondering.
I gotta work with them too and see, because they're gonna be coming across there. The new water line's coming across. It's coming across, going to Cedar, hooking to Cedar, so
Oh, that's right.
it's supposed to be bored, but I don't know, what's gonna happen there. So when we start on Main Street, it'll be from south, we'll run all the way down through here to Cedar, they'll tie Cedar on, and then they'll jump to Mill Street and work Route 9, I think from there all the way up to the second end of Willow.
Okay.
There'll be a lot of coordination,
Yeah,
even on the other end, because everything that comes from our wells has to go up Main to go to the tanks or the rail bed, so there's gonna be a little bit of, when we tie everything in, we're gonna have to, can't be down because you can't pump water. So we'll have to get our tanks full and get it hooked up. So, I don't know, I'm not sure yet when we're gonna do hydrant flushing. I really don't wanna do it when we've got, these water lines we're putting in, because when you start capping areas, you don't have a way to divert water. So we're gonna see, because I still have to do all the vaults, I still gotta do maintenance on all the vaults. I just don't wanna cause too much disruption
yeah,
and start having to put
Right.
a bucket in the ground to fix. Can't wait till this water line
we're
is
not
in.
we're not even gonna talk about that.
No, I spent 1 hour in this one street from here to the phone company, I can tell you that. That'll cut down for sure on the issues about water orders and labor,
Oh, yeah,
once we get
big
it
time.
in.
Yeah.
So, that's all I have.
Any questions for Mike? Thanks for all that you and
Thank you.
the guys are doing, lots of work. Correspondence?
Charter franchise fee payment, correspondence to Matthew Bennett regarding request for water and sewer services, vacant building registration from Vance Mossy for 29 Pine Street, vacant building registration from Becky Harvey for 5 Church Street, vacant building registration from Robert McCray for 11/2/55 to 11/2/57 Route 9. Vacant building registration from Richard LaPrairie, 139 Elm Street.
Under new business, we have recreation. Kim mentioned the idea of putting another basketball hoop, portable one at the other end of the court, so they could play full court. And we had talked to Mike about it, Kim already explained this, but rather than pave it and then dig it up again to put in that heavy-duty hoop, thought a good portable one would be a better option. The only other thing that, I don't know, that we talked about a little bit is if we could put a pickleball court in there. Jimmy and I measured it, it would be tight. It would fit, but it would be tight. And then you still have, also have the net. So then do you put the net out, do you leave it out, is it in the way of the basketball players? So it's probably not.
Well, I think if you did, I think you'd be able to have, the post inserted into holes, and be able to take them out and maybe put a cap where the holes are,
For the
For
net,
the
for the
net.
pickleball?
as a, so it can be used,
Right.
different times than playing basketball.
Yeah,
I mean, if you're gonna be, and it doesn't have to be necessarily done this year, but if you're gonna be repaving it, at least make the holes there and cap them somehow, for further use.
I don't know how big the pipes, I don't know, but that's something that we probably would, probably cut out and dig. I don't think it'd have to be too deep, you probably put concrete in that spot. Put it flush back with the asphalt, put a pipe insert, if that's what,
all right, yeah.
Yeah, it would have to be flush.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
no, I understand that, but to do it in asphalt, when it gets hot, it's more pliable.
Mhm.
You'd almost have to, even if you saw cut a small, whatever it may be, I don't know how big the pipes are, but big enough so you can dig down even with the post hole bigger to get whatever you get for depth.
Mhm.
Pour concrete flush with the asphalt and put yourself a pipe insert. I don't know what I'd have to look at what you have, but I'm sure that it can be,
Yeah,
You know,
well, at
can
least
be
would
done.
give us the option, and as you said, it wouldn't have to be this year, but we'd have the option.
Right.
yeah.
I know people really love pickleball, so it'd be nice to have that as an option.
Just have to look at it, maybe put stone or something underneath before, put the pipe insert, because if they fill with water from rain, whatever, just don't want them to split if they freeze. But probably can dig down, put stone underneath, and then put the inserts in, leave an open bottom on the insert, so at least they can drain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, I haven't seen, what they have for nets or anything like that, I'm not sure it can be.
Yeah, I haven't looked much into it, I just looked at the size to see if it would fit, and it would fit. I don't think the striping is too difficult.
And then at some point you can do all the lines, and maybe next year or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
do the lines. And, do we have lines? I don't think we have lines for the basketball court.
We have some.
But they'll be gone, they're gonna be gone anyway, cause it'll be
Right,
over.
I'm just saying,
Right.
that'll have to be redone too.
Yeah. Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, if you can have a dual purpose for the area, it'd be great.
mm-hmm. Yeah, you draw a different group. And then Kim mentioned the kayak launch, so that's good, we'll get that back on track, get it repaired, get it going again. We have, a volleyball net and standards somewhere. I don't know, is it still in the
It's in the
staircase?
stairway.
It's in the stairway. We originally talked about, River Street Park for that. I'm not adding to your list, I'm just talking about options, Mike.
I was just looking at the list that I got.
Yeah, I know, I know. But some of this maybe, I don't know, maybe some of this could be contracted out.
I mean, typically you put a volleyball, you'd plank it, let it flush, and put sand in it.
Okay,
Um, and is keeping the cameras on it.
Yeah, I know.
That's the hard part. It's not used enough in cats,
Yeah.
really digging.
It's a big litter box.
Yeah,
It's a huge litter box.
It's a huge litter box.
Yeah,
just
definitely
pull out to
down.
look at it, so you
Yeah,
don't see.
I'm just mentioning that we do have it, we probably got it, I don't know, several years ago. And then the other, just a quick little update on, the little pocket park on Church and Cedar Street. The land that was donated, I think I gave you a copy of the email with Dean Lashway.
Yes.
He located the most recent survey, he's going to give us the map, and he said it should not be hard to figure out the boundaries for that off
Once
that
I
map.
have it, I'll put it on my GPS,
Yeah,
that way if the pins get pulled, I have them.
yeah. And then we can, well, you probably have seen there are piles of dirt there, so it can get leveled and,
Some of that was good stuff we took off the playground,
mhm,
so you might as well put it there, cause we need dirt anyway, if we need to bring some back for the top of our planks to get it level, we can always pick it back up.
yeah,
Right.
I just didn't wanna push it around until we knew about where,
mhm, right, yeah. And then we can do a little bit of landscaping and the benches at some point.
Yeah, we'll probably, once we decide what we're putting for a bench, once we can get it straightened out, we'll probably pour a concrete pad.
Mhm.
That way, when it gets mowed, they can stay away from mowing around, you don't have to trim.
Yeah, yeah. Probably similar to the benches that are at the playground.
So we gotta do the same thing if the ones in the pocket park. We got some we gotta put,
Yeah.
make the pads big enough so they're not hooking them. It's
Mhm.
less to trim, they can mow right up to them and.
Yeah. So I don't know if the board has any other ideas about recreation. Things you'd like to see.
Well, if we, you know, if we can start on that one, on the corner of Cedar and Church, I mean, I realize we probably won't be able to get it all seeded and all that this year, but as long as we know our boundaries and make sure that nothing's infringed upon for that area,
Mhm.
we'll have a good start.
Mhm.
Well, if we get topsoil in there, we'll get it seeded, we'll get the grass gone. I mean, even if we get a dry year, if we have to, we use a jetter, we'll water it. It's not that big of an area.
Mhm.
We get it established, you know.
Let's
There's a lot
make it
of,
more
there's
attractive.
concrete and there was stuff in there that we had to, that's low anyway, you gotta bring it up.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah.
Well, that'll be nice for that neighborhood to have a little green space.
And then later we can look at, next year, whatever, can put a tree there or.
Yeah. Okay, great. Let's see, so under old business, we have the dog tether law. I know you all have a copy of that. So this is, as I said before, this is a draft. So we're open for discussion. Joel and I went over it. This is our, I guess it's the second draft, actually. You've got the definitions, the regulations, and then the prohibitions, which include things like restricting the dog's access to food and water and not providing shelter. Having the tether be too short so the dog can't move around. And no dog should be tethered in an excess of 4 continuous hours or 8 hours cumulative during a 24-hour period. And then an extreme weather condition section. And then the penalties. So, open it up for any suggestions and any areas you would like to omit or change or,
So I have general questions, not necessarily regarding the law.
sure.
The county, one of the legislatures is drafting a tether law.
Mm-hmm.
I got that information tonight before I came to the meeting, that's why I was running late. And it is to be presented to their legislature hopefully by the end of the month. if that is passed, that will be a county-wide. Why would we want to have a village one if we have a county one and have the dog control officer having to deal with multiple different laws?
Well, I can't answer the county part, cause I don't really know, you know, I don't know what it would be included in it.
I have no idea either,
Yeah.
I just was,
I mean, I'll just give you my thoughts. My thoughts are that this one is specific to the village of Champlain, which is a tight, small municipality, that I think is somewhat unique. I mean, there are only 3 villages in the county anyway. I don't know if they'll address the villages any differently than the county-wide. I see them as different because the rural areas of the county are, they're just in a completely different setting than a village that has, you know, sidewalks and, you know, kids on bikes and houses that are close to the street. So I'm really only thinking about the village of Champlain in this, which, I mean, that's who we're responsible to anyway. So I just don't know if they'll be addressing a village, which is very different than a rural town.
and will this draft be shared with Rouse's Point and the town of
Oh,
Champlain?
Oh,
so that-
absolutely, I would share it. I think it's I think it's a pretty good law. I think the town, I don't know if it all applies to the rural town though. That's why I think the village needs their own. Because someone on a rural road, they're not, they don't have neighbors who are right close to them, or they don't have a sidewalk that's, you know, 5 feet in front of them. It seems like a different setting to me.
My concerns are that we are going to have a dog control officer that's gonna be up against odds trying to manage all of these different tether laws.
Well, I mean, we have a code officer that has different codes in every area.
True.
Different municipalities have different laws about fire pits, or chickens, or other, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have brought up the chicken issue. I don't know, I mean, I just think there's some differences in every location. That are, whoever enforces it, I think they just deal with the differences. I don't think it would be drastically different. I mean, this is based on a couple of laws in New York State. It may be very similar to what the county's even considering.
I feel that it would just, this is just my personal
Mhm.
opinion, that it would be beneficial to wait and see what the county does versus all these different municipalities having their own laws for this. That is my personal opinion. I personally would rather wait and see what the county rolls out first.
Well, they may roll it out or discuss it, but it won't be, could wait months and months and months before it's passed. If it's passed.
Exactly, so roll
Right,
of the
so we're
dice
gonna
like
wait.
anything else.
We're gonna wait for everybody else to decide what they're gonna do?
Like I said, Chuck, it's my opinion,
Yeah,
it's,
it's my opinion too.
so.
I'd kinda like to see us set the standard. You know, I'm an animal lover and I think you all are, but I'm still approaching this from public safety. I just see it as, dogs that are tied up or frustrated, dogs are social. They're frustrated, they're angry, they get aggressive, they lunge if they're tied, they break their lead. I'm just worried about citizens. It's my major concern here. So I'd like us to take the lead on it. I don't know.
And who will be, so people, what's the process going to be for the law? What's the process going to be when somebody sees that a dog is being tethered out? What's the process gonna be?
It's still gonna be a dog complaint. We still have our dog officer.
And then he's gonna get the state troopers involved or the sheriff's patrol involved to seize the dog if necessary?
Yeah, it
Because,
just goes through the regular process. Yeah, it's, I mean, there are violations and there are fines. The first offense, I mean, this is just proposed. First offense is punishable by up to $250. And the judge can at his or her discretion can have an educational component to why tying up a dog for long periods of time is a negative thing. It would be like any other law. How do the rest of you feel?
I think in regards to the question of enforcement, I think that it's relatively straightforward in its language of what it's looking for, and I would like to think that it would be reasonable to be able to enforce, regardless of other municipalities or other bodies. And yeah, I do agree with Janet. I think the village is uniquely walkable, not only that, but you know, people walking the streets, but also just the proximity of where dogs are in proximity to those people walking. I think this is just my opinion, this is just my experience, so take it with a grain of salt, but I lived in Rouse's Point for a long time. I find that a lot of the properties there are a bit further from the road or from the street, whereas here I think it's very close. So I think you do have a public safety issue. I think the punishments or the fines are reasonable. The idea is to protect the dog, educate the owner on how to safely care and handle for animals that they're responsible for. And I think that the language and the law hopefully will get people to understand that and agree on that. You know, if there are concerns in the public and people have problems and there are people with pitchforks outside, I'd love to hear what people think. I haven't heard much discussion about it, and I'm sure that there will be moving forward. And if the county is moving forward, then by all means, I'd love to hear what they think. And you know, maybe in 1 month they have a dog law that's 10 times more strict than ours, and ours is pretty much a moot point, and you know, all this discussion was for nothing. But regardless, I think that I think it's reasonable. I think it makes sense. I think it's good for the dogs. I think it's good for the people walking. You know, I think it's probably not good for people who are not the best pet owners, but in the long run, maybe it'll be helpful and maybe it'll help them become better pet owners.
Well, I'm in favor of this. You know, it's been discussed for several months, and it's been thrown back and forth. I think something has to be done, and we just can't wait for every other community to decide what they're gonna do. So I'm in favor of this particular drafted law, and I think we should move forward with it.
Let's get a motion so we can talk about if let's get a motion here.
Okay, so a motion to adopt the draft of the tethering law, Village of Champlain, as written. Is that sufficient?
Mm-hmm. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, so there's a motion here. Are there parts to this, you okay? Yep. Are there parts to this that the language needs to be changed? Or how do you feel about the penalties? Is there anything in here that you would like to see different?
Would we like to read it out
Hmm?
for the public, or read it?
Well, we have to, if we proceed with this, we have to have a public hearing next.
Okay.
So that I'm hoping we'll get plenty of people
See,
to us.
the penalties, it says up to, it doesn't mean it has to be $250.
Correct.
That's up to the discretion of the judge,
Correct.
so. And it's not that's set $250 your first offense,
Right, it's up to.
so,
Mhm.
and likewise, they keep doing it, well, fine, should go up.
So, just so I understand, so we're taking a vote to adopt the, what are we voting on then? So
So
we're
we'll be
looking-
voting on this
Okay.
as written,
Okay,
as written. So that's why if there's something that you think should be changed, this is the time to do that.
okay,
And then if it passes, then we establish a public hearing at our next meeting.
okay.
It can't become law until the public has weighed in, and then we vote for the final,
Great.
for or against the final.
Great, I love
I have one very important question, I know I'm not allowed to talk.
No, you're not really supposed to, so I'm gonna have you hold it, sorry.
It was just temperatures.
That was it. You'll have to wait till the public hearing. Okay. Does the board have any language in here that they would want changed?
I think it looks pretty easy to read.
Yeah, it's straightforward and short.
Yep.
Okay, you ready to vote? All in favor?
it. Did we get a second? Did we get?
Oh, wait,
We
we
did,
got
okay,
a
we
second.
did. I'm sorry,
There's a
okay,
second.
just making sure.
Yeah,
You want a roll call?
we can have a roll call. Could we have a roll call, please?
Trustee Trombley,
Nay.
trustee Malinsky,
Aye.
trustee Connor,
Aye.
trustee Herzog,
Aye,
Mayor McFetrich.
Aye. So, we need a motion to set a public hearing at our next meeting, which I don't have the date of.
it is the 8th.
July 8th. Okay, we have a motion to set a public hearing on
So
July
moved.
8th at, we'll say, 6:45. Okay, we have a motion and a second?
Second.
Second, okay. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Let's see here. I need a motion to go out of the regular session, please.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries, and a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
May I have a-
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that carries.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. All right, we need a motion to come out of executive session,
So moved.
and a second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And a motion to go back into the regular session,
So moved.
and a second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
That carries. No decisions made in executive session. Well, if there's no other business, I would take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, everyone.